Before The Haunting of Hill House, before Dr. Sleep, before Midnight Mass, Mike Flanagan was just an ambitious young filmmaker trying to break into the horror world with a story, a tiny budget, and a whole lot of creativity. And what came out of that struggle was Absentia, one of the most underrated, effective, low-budget thrillers of the last 20 years. If you love slow-burn psychological horror, if you're fascinated by urban legends, or if you just want to see how a master like Flanagan started his career, then you need to watch Absentia. Let's talk about why. Released in 2011, Absentia wasn't just Mike Flanagan's first real feature. It was a blueprint for everything that would define his later work. Emotional depth, creeping dread, complex characters, and horror that stays with you long after the credits roll. But here's the thing. The movie was made for just 70 grand. For context, that's less than the catering budget on most major studio horror films. And yet, despite the limitations, Absentia manages to unsettle, disturb, and engage the viewer in a way that most big-budget horror can only dream of. The story follows Tricia, a woman grappling with the disappearance of her husband Daniel, who vanished without a trace 7 years ago. As she prepares to legally declare him dead in absentia, her troubled younger sister Callie comes to stay with her. But as they reconnect and confront the past, strange occurrences begin to unfold, all centering around a nearby tunnel that may be tied to something far darker and older than either of them understands. The brilliance of Absentia lies in its ambiguity. It flirts with supernatural horror, psychological trauma, urban legends, and grief, all while keeping you guessing. Is it a story about monsters? Or about the monsters our minds create when we're overwhelmed by loss? Now let's talk about the budget, because this film is the definition of making the most out of what you have. Shot in Glendale, California, mostly in and around real apartments and public locations, Absentia doesn't rely on elaborate sets, expensive effects, or jump scares. Instead, it builds atmosphere with quiet dread, eerie sound design, and emotionally grounded performances. The tunnel, which is arguably the film's most haunting location, isn't a Hollywood set. It's a real pedestrian underpass. Yet through clever cinematography and sound work, Flanagan transforms this ordinary place into something otherworldly, something menacing. Fans of Mike Flanagan's later work will instantly recognize his signature style here. The themes of grief and addiction, the tension between faith and fear, the way personal trauma and supernatural horror weave together until you can't tell them apart. You see shades of The Haunting of Hill House, Oculus, and even Midnight Mass within Absentia. It's raw and it's rough around the edges, sure, but it's also personal, thought-provoking, and deeply unsettling. And the ending? I won't spoil it, but it's the type of ending that will make you lose sleep at night. After the success of Absentia, Flanagan's career exploded, which was well-deserved, given what he achieved on such a shoestring budget. The film won multiple awards on the festival circuit, with horror fans and critics alike praising its intelligence, restraint, and eerie atmosphere. More importantly, it caught the attention of producers and studios, paving the way for his future projects. It's no exaggeration to say that without Absentia, we might never have gotten the masterpieces that are The Haunting of Bly Manor, Gerald's Game, or Dr. Sleep. Look, Absentia isn't flashy. It doesn't bombard you with special effects or cheap thrills. Visually, you can tell right off the bat it's low budget. But that's exactly what makes it so effective. It's intimate horror, a slow burn that crawls under your skin and lingers in your thoughts. It's also a reminder that great storytelling doesn't need millions of dollars. It needs vision, heart, and the courage to tackle big themes with honesty. So if you're a fan of horror that respects your intelligence, if you love uncovering hidden gems, or if you just want to see how one of today's best genre filmmakers got to start, do yourself a favor and watch Absentia. Trust me, you'll never look at an ordinary tunnel the same way again. Thanks for watching. And if you've seen Absentia before, please be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments.